So Barnes & Noble has recently put out this short list of award books. Basically, they have a category for picture books, young readers or middle grade, and young adult / teen books. And I thought it would be really fun to try and read most, if not all of these, and I decided to split it up and do it by the actual different categories that they have, which are based on the age ranges. So the first one that we're going to be doing today is picture books. I went to my library to try and get a hold of as many as I could. I actually put holds in before I went to the library. There are 6 titles here, and 5 of them said they were at my library. 1 was not in the catalog at all, which is fine. However, I was only able to get 2 from the library, which meant I needed to somehow get a hold of these books in a different way. I went to any store that was sort of near me that could potentially have books and was not able to get a hold of any of these other books. So I did end up getting them from Barnes & Noble. The 2 books that I was able to get a hold of were The Bakery Dragon and Be Careful, Xiao Xin, from my library. However, because I went to Barnes & Noble, I ended up with a new tote bag because my card, my Barnes & Noble membership, had renewed, and you get a free tote bag every single year, and it said I was due, so I got a new tote bag. And I really do like these because they're very nice, thick quality, hold lots of books. But I got all the rest of the picture books, plus, as you can see, the ones that I already got. So I could not help myself. I knew based on the small look I had of those first books that I was gonna want these. So just in no particular order, we have Be Careful, Xiao Xin, which is by Alice Peng and by Cher Ril-ng. So this one is actually in both English and Chinese, and I have read all of these with my kids, so I will leave some little clips in between each book. We will just sort of talk about them.
你爬得太高了，小心 that is too high for you. 小心别碰那边的水，小心 don't touch that water. 你不知道里面有什么病菌 ，you don't know what germs are in there.
But I really did like this one because it is in both. I double checked with my husband because obviously he knows Chinese, he can read Chinese, he's the one that read it to the kids. It is the same in both English and Chinese as you go through the story, and it's basically about this boy named Xiao Xin who his parents are very like careful with him, like be careful of this, be careful of that, don't do that, don't do this, and he's like, I think I have a warrior inside me. I think I can do more than that. And he ends up like sort of running away from home just to get away from his parents and be that warrior. I thought this one was really, really cute. The art style was really well done. I did love the fact of the different English and Chinese in here. Like obviously not everyone's going to be able to read that, but like with the fact that my family is mixed, I did love that fact, and I liked that we could technically read it with just the English, or if my husband really wanted to, he could read it with just the Chinese. He read it with both, and I really, really liked the message of this by the end of the story. So like this one, I knew I needed it, and I'm glad I own it. The next one that again I had from my library but I ended up picking up while I was there is The Bakery Dragon by Devin L. Kurtz. Okay, what is this called?
Dragon breathe fire.
Yeah, dragon does breathe fire, you're right. But what is this book called, Presley?
The Bakery Dragon.
Okay.
Say ha.
Say ha.
Yeah.
There's nothing a dragon loves more than gold. And Ember the dragon was no exception. Ember wished he had treasure of his own to guard. Hey, get off my hoard. How'd you get all this gold anyway? Come see for yourself. This is actually an author that I have been following on Instagram for forever, and so when I saw that she was getting a picture book, I was very excited. This one is definitely a little bit more about the pictures, the illustrations, than the story. Like, there are pages where we just have the illustrations and not as many words or descriptions and that kind of thing. But it's about a little dragon who really wants to have gold, but is like smaller than the other dragons. And so like his hoard is not nearly as big, or practically non-existent, as their hoards. And he goes into this town and finds a bakery, and like the bread is very golden and things like that. He learns how to bake. It was very, very cute. Like I said, I do think the illustration style is the biggest selling point of this. And like I said, I have followed the author for a while because of her illustrations and stuff. So this is just another really, really cute one. Then the 4 next ones that we have are the ones that I needed to find in the first place. The next one we have here is A Little Like Magic by Sarah Kurpiel. It's cold, so cold I see my breath. I'm lost in a forest of people, but Mom is lost with me, so it's okay. We follow a loud whirring, burring, buzzing sound I even hear in my chest. And then we see blocks of ice. This, I think, is adorable because of the fact that our main character is a wheelchair user. And this is just part of the story. They never really talk about that specifically. We do have a little bit of like, the girl is getting dressed and she mentions like having to find things that fit for her legs and things like that in a certain way. But like, again, it wasn't like a huge focus. It was just part of the story, which I really liked. But it does follow this girl as her and her mom go out to like this ice sculpture competition sort of thing. And she has a little toy horse that she loses. And then they go back the next night, I think it is, to actually like see the sculptures once they're done. And it's really, really beautiful. Again, the art style here, I think, is really, really well done. I loved the message of it. And I just liked the fact that we had disability representation as just a main part of the story. Then the next one that we have here is All the Books by Haley Rocco and John Rocco. I think I saw it was like a father-daughter duo. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Piper Waterstone would not, could not share her books. You see, her books were special, rare, even magical. Her books brought her to other worlds, faraway galaxies, and even back in time. This one is very cute and like perfect for like the book lovers. I feel like this one is like, if you like books and reading and libraries and things, you're gonna find it cute because it's about a little chipmunk named Piper who loves books, loves to read, and wants all of her books as close to her as possible so that she's actually like dragging them around in a wagon with her at all times. She will not let people borrow her books because they are precious to her. And then throughout the story, she discovers a library, and that the library has all the books, and you just share them with people and with your library card and things. I did think this was a little bit idealistic in a way because obviously we all know not all libraries have all the books, but especially if you love books and you want to share them with people, I did think this was a good start into like the library, that kind of thing. Wasn't my favorite out of the ones that we read, just because I did feel, like I said, a little bit idealistic with the whole, this is a library, we have all the books for everybody all the time, and it's just like, nowadays especially, you don't necessarily get all the books, but I loved the art style. It was very cute. I can definitely see us reading more of this. The next one that we have here is Stalactite and Stalagmite by Drew Beckmeyer. What are those?
Volcanoes.
Volcanoes.
Yeah, volcanoes.
A thing is moving down there. I am not a thing. I am a trilobite. How are you moving like that?
Look at that.
I have many legs that help me walk. Nobody has ever visited this cave before. Where did you come from?
Look at that.
Yeah, there he is.
Capital.
No, it's a trilobite. Remember, we just learned that. I crawled up from the water. We trilobites have been living on the sea floor for a long time. Are there other things that walk under the water? There are some worms, but they mostly wiggle. This is actually a book that I almost picked up during my indie bookstore crawl because I wanted to buy some children's books at one of the stores that I was at because they had a really cute children's section, but Elliot told me no picture books. She just wanted a bingo game. So we didn't at that time. But this is about a stalactite and a stalagmite throughout time, all of time. We start when they're very, very small and there's only desolation and volcanoes outdoors. And then each page goes further and further into time. So like the next time they see a trilobite, and then the next time they see a fish lizard thing. I can't remember what they called it. Ichthyostega, something like that. And then we eventually get dinosaurs and humans and things like that. And every single time they grow closer and closer together. I personally really liked this one because it has a little bit of history. I liked the fact that they sort of talk to each other, and I liked that you got to see the differences in the background each time that they are doing the next character and things like that. I do think a little of it probably went over my kids' heads. I read these obviously to my kids. That was sort of the point, is to see, one, how I liked them as picture books, but also how the kids liked them. I do think even though it was cute and it had like the good pictures and stuff, I think it was maybe a little bit more mature than some of the other picture books we have here, because it wasn't as like obvious what they were getting at necessarily. But I personally really liked this one, so I do think it's going to be one that as kids get older, maybe as they read things by themselves and want to learn about that kind of stuff, they'll love. And then the last one we have here is Hedgehogs Don't Wear Underwear by Marissa Valdez. Today's the day I show everyone my underwear.
Huh?
What? Yes, that's right. I wear real bona fide underwear. One day, voila, I knew they were for me. And it was love at first sight. This is the only book that my library does not have in its catalog at all, even though I wasn't able to get some of the other picture books either, but this one is just not there. And when you first see it, compared to some of the other ones with some of the messaging and things that it has, this seems like random. To me personally, I was like, out of all the things we have, out of all the stories that they're being told, this one seems weird. Hedgehogs Don't Wear Underwear. And it's a shorter one as well. Like this one I think was cute. It's about this hedgehog named Jacques who likes to wear underwear and is a little bit scared of telling the rest of the hedgehog family that he likes to wear underwear. But then it so happens that maybe the other hedgehogs in his family don't wear underwear, but they like to do other things that are potentially unconventional for hedgehogs as well. Like one has feather boas and things like that. I thought it was cute. I thought it was quite short. My kids really, really loved this one, and I think it was because of the illustration style and the fact that the hedgehogs have underwear. You know, that is a very, like, kid focus. I will say that on the back it says, hold on to your derriere, and it's Hedgehogs Don't Wear Underwear. I wanted this one to rhyme so bad. None of the books that we have here today rhyme, and I feel like that's a travesty. Some of my absolute favorite picture books rhyme. I love the repetition and the anticipation of those rhymes for kids because I feel like that shows them a little bit of like how to read because they're anticipating that rhyme. That's a good thing for their brains to like pick up on. And none of these books had rhymes. I was hoping for one to have rhymes, and when this was the last one I read, and the fact that it had underwear and derriere, because Jacques is French, and so every so often they have like sacre bleu and things like that, I was hoping for rhymes. It didn't happen, but that's okay. So, I asked my kids which one was their favorite story out of all the books that we've read. Which one is your favorite? Can you pick one? Which one did you like the best? This is from yesterday and today. Which one is your favorite? Yeah? Those ones? Okay. Okay. Elliot is saying that she has two favorites, apparently. She can't choose. These ones. And that. She's no help. Presley, which one did you say was your favorite out of all the days? The Bakery Dragon. That's a good one. Why did you like that one?
I don't know, because I like it.
What was your favorite part of it?
I don't know.
Okay. That's fine. Did you like that he learned to bake bread?
Yes.
And that he got to share the bread with all the other dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. What was your favorite part, Elliot? Which one? Okay, she's just saying all the books are her favorite. And as you could see, Elliot could not pick. She said that was all of them. And Presley was also a little bit wishy-washy about it as well. I think For me personally, Be Careful Xiao Xin is my absolute favorite. One, I love the art style. Two, I love the fact that it is English and Chinese completely in here. And three, I really, really loved the actual message of the story and where we went at the end. Like, it got me a little bit in my feels. Like, I think this was adorable. So I really liked that one. Stalactite and Stalagmite, again, maybe not for my kids currently, but I do think this is a really good sort of informational picture book as well. Like, I really did like that one. And then I would say these two next, A Little Like Magic and The Bakery Dragon. This because the art style is gorgeous, but it could have had a little bit more substantial of a story. It's more about like sharing and being okay with who you are, even if you can't get gold like everybody else. This one, I love the disability representation in here. I love that it was just sort of about a girl with her mom. Again, could have had a little bit more. It felt a little bit short, but again, I really like the messaging in this one as well. And then my last two, and again, these are not bad books, but if I'm rating the 6 of them, those 2 were the first, other ones were in the middle. These 2 are at the end, just because, again, this one is very, very short, and this one I thought was very cute, but it could have had a little bit better of an execution. This one also could have been a really, really good rhyming book. I need my rhymes, and I did not get them. But all 6 of these books are gonna go into my children's library, because I can see us reading them all again. You know what I mean? We're supposed to have information about which one of these is actually winning the Picture Book Award for Barnes & Noble. I think within the next week. I think they said by like around August 7th or 8th, something like that. So like this week sometime, I feel like we'll get to tell which one is number 1. If I had to vote right now, it would be Xiao Xin, but I don't know. I could see why pretty much all of these would win in some way. So we'll have to see. And like I said, I did end up picking up quite a bit of the middle grade books from my library as well. I have a couple more that are on hold as audiobooks because I was not able to get them physically through my library, and I'm good with audiobooks as well. So keep an eye out for this because I think we're going to be doing this next. I've been in a bit of a reading slump, which I mentioned in my sort of like TBR Pile of Possibilities video, and I do think some really quick, fun middle grade stories, I'm hoping they're fun, we'll see, might get me out of that slump. So I do think we're going to be focusing on those next. But let me know what you think about the picture books. If you like the sort of diversity that we have here. I thought we had a great selection, and I'm excited to see who is going to win. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I do have videos coming out Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so I will see you then. Bye!